Okay everybody, so first off I want to say sorry if you can hear that water in the background. I'm doing some laundry, so sorry about that if you can hear that. But yeah, I finished these 2 volumes of manga and I'm gonna tell you my first impressions. So basically I read this on the car ride to Mass and also back. I really enjoyed this manga. Like, I know as a Catholic, it's not really that surprising that I would enjoy it, but honestly, even as a manga fan, I extremely enjoyed this manga. So basically, Mother Teresa was canonized after this manga came out, so it makes no mention of that. But yeah, she was canonized on September 4th, 2016 by Pope Francis. And just reading this manga was just very, very sweet, and basically this manga did a great job of being educational and entertaining in a way that only manga can be. It starts off here with Astro Boy, and I'm assuming this is Uran. Once again, it's extremely blurry. The lighting in this room is not very good, so I think that's what's making the camera blurry. Astro Girl, I guess. Like, basically, she's late, and they're going to go to a photography, exhibit about Mother Teresa, and basically they close the exhibit, and she was late, and the reason she was late was because she was helping this old lady bring her stuff up the stairs on the subway, or on the train or whatever, the Shinkansen, and then after she was done helping the lady, she was on her way to meet Astro Boy and these other characters who I'm not totally sure who they are, but so I'm assuming they're the creators, I'm not totally sure. But so basically she runs into a boy who's crying and he's lost his parents, so she helps him get back to his parents. And yeah, so, and I think the illustrations here look pretty good. Obviously I haven't read very much Tezuka manga and I really need to. Saint Mother Teresa was born on August 26, 1910. Her given name is Agnes, after Saint Agnes Gonha. It's really hard to say actually, because it's got like an X in it, Gonxha, and it means flower bud. And yeah, so her family were Albanian, and they were Catholic, Roman Catholic. And early on in life, she was basically, you know, raised in a loving family, a loving Christian family, and basically her father passed away. And I really enjoyed just the depth of the manga, like the depth of the emotions that they were able to get without any dialogue. Like, there's no dialogue here, but you know, he's passed away and it's extremely sad. And you know, recently there was someone who passed away in my family, and then a few years ago there was also another person, my father, who passed away around October. So I was very emotional reading this, so I think that that's also one of the reasons why I actually started crying a little bit when I'm reading this, because my faith means so much to me. And yeah, so so Saint Francis of Assisi, one of Mother Teresa's favorite saints. When she was a child, she would read a lot of books because she was kind of sickly, and she would read about him, and she wanted to be like him. And yeah, I'll leave links down in the description if you're interested in Saint Mother Teresa's life. There are tons of books written about her, and yeah, and I really loved this illustration of her mother. Her mother's name was Dronda, and she's praying here to understand, like, what God's will is for her family. This illustration as well. I really think the illustration in here was very, very good. And like the maps and the crowds, everyone is just extremely detailed, because I think the story of Mother Teresa's life is pretty much that, you know, we are all family, and this moment when she hears God's voice for the first time was just really powerful to me. And yeah, it was just beautiful, beautifully drawn. She became a nun, and she was sent to India, but all of the students she was helping in India at her school were from rich families, and she was happy to be helping people, but she also saw that there was so much poverty, and the school where she taught was for the richer children of India, but she always wanted to know, like, what about the children who can't afford to come to school? And so she wanted to be able to go out and help them, and also she would teach them how to read and write, just free of charge. Basically, the new habit that she's wearing is like a sari. So it's like an Indian sari, and this is her teaching the kids how to read. And so she started her open area school, where kids would just come and she would basically teach them how to read. And one of her students, and actually a few of her students at the beginning, joined her to help do this. Because the point is, as her mother said in the beginning of this manga, and I'm assuming in real life because of quotes that I've read from Saint Mother Teresa, her mother, after her father died, she still helped people that they were not related to, people who were old, people who were dying, and just people who needed help in general. And she was a seamstress, so she would sew clothes for people who could not afford to buy clothes, and things like that. I really loved this manga. That's pretty much what I want to say. I highly recommend it to anyone who is Christian. Read this manga, even if you're not Catholic. And if you if you have any questions about Catholicism, you can totally ask me. I'm a convert to Catholicism, so I just really found it touching. It's like she established orphanages and for homeless children that were abandoned by their parents. And then when she visits Japan for the first time, after living in India, she realizes how much she's happy that Japan has become wealthy, but she's also concerned that there's so much food waste. So when she speaks to them, she's basically saying that, you know, there's a different type of poverty here. It's a mental type of poverty where you're not thankful for the things that you have, and you don't know, like, nobody helps the people that are forgotten on the street. Nobody even wants to look at them. And then she writes, or it says here, the biggest human sorrow is not lack of money or clothes. It is the feeling that he or she is not loved or needed by anybody. The most serious disease today is to feel that it doesn't matter if you exist or not, to feel abandoned and unwanted. The worst thing is to be indifferent and not to give them enough love. People of Japan, please don't be indifferent to others. And she went to Japan on April 22nd, 1981. And basically she says, you know, love everyone like they're your family, because we truly are one family. And then it speaks about how during the Gulf War, she was helping people regardless of race or faith or anything. She just wanted to help people. And this scene was very touching to me. It's okay now. Nobody abandoned you. It's very sweet. And she actually wrote to the President of the United States at the time, and also to the President of Iraq, and asked them to please stop the war because so many people were being killed and left destitute and starving. And also there were plenty of migrants that were displaced. And this scene specifically just really, really touched my heart. I've been with the poor when they passed away. Please take me to where they are. And please take me to where you are. Oh, I'm getting choked up just reading it. But yeah, it's just a great manga, and I really love this final quote, which is actually a quote from when she was in Japan in 1981, and it says, "Somewhere in the world there are sad people who are forgotten by all. If you see somebody like that, please give your hand to the person, and please always be kind, just like you would to your family." And I was extremely touched by that. I really enjoyed these like questions and stuff, and I definitely want to read more about Saint Mother Teresa, and also read more of these other educational manga by DMP, and yeah, I'm super excited about that. And also Project X, I really want to read this about the invention of cup noodle, and then there's also one about the konbini, like convenience stores in Japan, konbini. So yeah, and my camera thinks these are real faces because I can't tell if they are real faces. If those are drawings, they're really, really good, and they're fooling my camera. So yes, that was Mother Teresa manga. Another interesting thing is that this manga does have illustrations by Tezuka Osamu, but there's only this one, and then some of the ones in the back with the questions and things like this. Those are Tezuka Osamu. Obviously, I'm guessing these words were added because it's talking about poverty, chastity, and obedience. But yeah, I really think that this was a very well done educational manga, and I thought so many of the pages were just really striking. Like, they didn't seem like they were just churned out for the sake of being educational, and some of the compositions are just really amazing. So I definitely can see myself rereading this, maybe even doing a sort of read with me type thing. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that, but I've thought about it for a while, that it would be really cool if on MangaTube like, since this is an out-of-print title, reading it sort of out loud, I guess, in a video. I'm not sure if that would be a thing you would be interested in. Just tell me in the comments what you think about that, and if you would be interested in doing like a read along with me. I guess I kind of had inspiration sort of from like Let's Plays, where people, you know, they'll play a game and along the way they'll be commenting about things, but like sort of like a Let's Play with a manga? I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I definitely enjoyed this manga, and I would recommend that if you see it, pick it up, for sure. Even if you're not Catholic, even if you're not religious, I do think it's worth reading, and the artwork was very beautiful, so. So at 6 p.m., I started reading From Far Away by Kyoko Hikawa. I'm not really that surprised that I enjoyed it because it's a fantasy story. It's about a girl named Noriko Tachiki who gets transported to this other world, and she comes across this man who she soon finds out is named Izark Kiatarj. I'm assuming that's how you say his name. And yeah, the artwork is gorgeous in here, very gorgeous shoujo manga. Just, I really, really like Hikawa's art style, so I'm really looking forward to reading this and reading the rest of the series. So yes, she gets transported to this other world, and she meets this mysterious man named Izark. And I'm guessing it's Izark. Is it Izark or Izark, or like how did you say it if you've read this manga? I know often when we read books we don't say things out loud, so it's kind of interesting to do that, and I thought this tree was really cool. As you can see, I've marked a few pages just for my own reference, just to look at and get inspiration, and also things that I wanted to point out in my video so that I could find the pages quickly. So yeah, so what's funny is I made a my husband made some brownies, some homemade brownies, and I frosted them to look like Kimba the White Lion, and I'm probably gonna put up a picture of that right now. And it was really, really good. And I was eating that, and I was sipping some pumpkin spice tea that I had made, and I was like, yeah, I'm reading From Far Away, and there's not gonna be anything gross in this manga. Because I was kind of debating if I wanted to start reading From Far Away, or if I wanted to read the third volume of Kingo Used Books. But then I looked in Kingo Used Books, and the first thing they talk about is a horror manga. So it's like, I don't really like watching horror movies or anything when I'm eating. I don't know, I'm weird like that, but so I'm eating my brownie, I'm flipping through the pages, and then this happens, and I'm like, no, no, no. Really gross bug. And then on top of that, it's like spewing this gross stuff. It's like gross. But luckily Izark defeats whatever that thing is. It's like a worm. And basically, I found it very interesting that they do not speak the same language. So one weird translation thing that kind of not bothered me, but like I thought was weird, was the use of the word hella and heka. Maybe not. That's when they first introduce each other. But basically she's saying, Izark is hella strong, and I'm like, hella? What? Like, I mean, I know maybe some people say that, but I don't, and it's just like, I just don't know, because I'm guessing that the word she might have used is probably totemo, and totemo is like very, it's more extreme than honto or hontoni. It's totemo is like, you know, if you were to say totemo kawaii, that means like super cute, the cutest, things like that. So if she's using the word totemo, I think translating it as hella or hecka is kind of weird, and honestly it kind of dates it. Like, I don't know if that was like an early 2000s thing, but I do remember, I only really remember hearing it in like South Park. So yeah, it's kind of awkward. Yeah. So the illustrations here are amazing, absolutely gorgeous, like I've said. And what I really liked about Noriko's character is she's very caring, and she cares about learning this new language and understanding what's going on, because, I mean, you're transported to a new world, why wouldn't you want to know what's going on? She's basically saying, you know, I feel really helpless, but instead of just, you know, crying about it, which she does cry in the beginning because, you know, she's sent to this new world and she doesn't know what's going on. Basically, she determines that, she says, I gotta learn the language. I gotta learn their language. See, that's another thing. It's like, gotta? I don't know. I mean, I guess they're trying to make her sound cute, but I don't know. So yeah, I gotta learn their language then. Next time he wants water or something, I could help. That's it. Instead of crying over my situation, I'll try to learn their language. That's what I should be doing. Now I feel much better. So basically she wants to be of help because she's very thankful that this man saved her life, basically, and he seems to be protecting her, especially from large bugs, and then eventually also people, and she's very thankful to Izark for saving her and wants to be useful to him, and she wants to understand what's going on and possibly find a way that she can get back home. She's very cute and innocent, but that also takes me to this sort of spoiler territory. So what I'm gonna do is, if you don't want to be spoiled about anything in this volume, I'm going to put Mew on the screen. And basically, when Mew is off the screen, you can unpause it. Okay, so I'm gonna be talking about spoilers right now. The reveal that Izark might have to kill Noriko was really surprising, and apparently Noriko is the awakening, and I suppose that's some sort of prophecy that says that basically her coming to this world will lead to calamity in their world and possibly unleash some sort of sky demon, and basically Izark feels like he's going to have to kill her. That was my impression, that he feels that way. I don't think he was actually sent on a quest to kill her, but it's possible. I mean, my impression was that he didn't know. Nobody knew that she was being teleported here. It just happened. So that's why I'm a little confused about why he even assumed that she was the awakening. I'm really interested and intrigued in the dynamic between Izark and Noriko. I mean, this is a shoujo manga, they're on the cover. I'm pretty sure they're gonna fall in love. It's definitely going to be a romance, and I'm okay with that at this point. I'm definitely interested to see how that happens, because right now in the story, like, Noriko is basically saying maybe Izark sees her as like a lost puppy, and like he has to protect her. And there are definitely a few times when she can't understand him, but he's saying, you know, oh, why do I have to do this? Or how did I get myself in this situation? But yeah, she does feel like a burden because she can't speak their language, and you know, she's very thankful to him, and I found that refreshing because she's not one of those manga protagonists that is going to like beat up the guy. Like, she's sent to a new world and then this guy is like, you know, he doesn't understand her customs or whatever. That's one of my biggest dislikes about shoujo manga protagonist. The shoujo manga protagonist that she thinks the guy might like her, and maybe he's even gonna like say something about it to her, and she like gets upset at him or calls him a perv, and then she punches him or something. And so Noriko does not seem like that kind of protagonist, and I'm glad about that. She seems very sweet, and I definitely like her, and I definitely like Izark. He can be a little bit of a jerk, I guess, because he's saying, like, why do I have to deal with this girl? But it makes sense that he would be thinking that, because, I mean, I'm sure if it was the other way around, maybe Noriko would be thinking, why do I have to deal with this guy? Okay, so the next spoiler point is the villain reveal of Kamos. And yeah, he's really creepy. He's kind of a sociopathic killer, or a psychopathic killer. He becomes obsessed with anyone he thinks might be stronger than him. He even says, killing is my life, it's in my blood, killing is my entertainment. And when I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is so intensely scary. I'm guessing in the future that Kamos is going to go after Izark, and they're probably going to fight, and I'm assuming that Izark is going to win. But yeah, we'll see if I even get that far, because I only have the first 4 volumes. So as far as spoilers goes for this volume, that's it. Here and decide what my next volume of manga is going to be. I guess I could try to read some Fua Fua Cinnamon. It's not super late yet, so I might be able to get through, even if I only get through translating a chapter or something, I still think it's kind of worth it to at least start. Okay, so I want to read this, but I'm also like from far away. I just want to know what happens. Okay, I think I'm gonna read volume 2 of From Far Away. And yeah, I'm kind of avoiding Vampire Knight, but I guess I'm also kind of avoiding Cross, but so I guess I'm gonna be reading Kingyo Used Books. Okay. Yeah, this is the last volume that I have right now, so. Alright, I'm gonna get started on Kingyo Used Books.